It began with a text from my wife, Lisa, that instantly made my skin crawl. "Let's meet at the Rusty Barrel after work. Bring an open mind." Normally, a casual drink wouldn't have bothered me, but Lisa had a way of sending messages that hinted at trouble. After 8 years of marriage, I had learned that her idea of testing me usually came with emotional chaos. Still, I stayed calm. I'd been through enough in life to let suspicion control me. I put on my jacket, straightened my tie, and headed to the bar with quiet confidence. When I arrived, Lisa was already there, seated at a high table in the corner. Across from her sat someone I never expected to see, her ex, Ryan, the man she dated for 3 years before me. He looked smug, leaning back in his chair like he owned the place. Lisa waved me over, a faint smirk on her lips. "Sit," she said casually. "We've got some history to talk about." I pulled out a chair and sat, keeping my face neutral. Inside, curiosity stirred. I wanted to see how this would play out. The first 5 minutes were harmless, small talk, light memories from the past. Then Ryan's tone shifted. He started mocking me, throwing subtle jabs at my career, my looks, even my relationship with Lisa. "You really think you can keep up with her?" he sneered. I was the one who knew her best. Lisa watched closely, a faint smile forming as if she were enjoying the performance. I simply sipped my drink, nodded politely, and didn't engage. Calmness, I knew, was my strongest weapon. Ryan grew bolder. For nearly an hour, he criticized everything about me, clearly expecting an angry reaction. He laughed at my job, my hobbies, even the way I held my glass. Lisa chuckled quietly at his remarks, occasionally adding fuel with comments like, "He's changed a lot since you knew him." But I didn't break. Not once. I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I stayed calm, letting his arrogance reveal itself. Finally, Ryan leaned forward, confident he'd worn me down. "You know," he said with a smirk, "she could do better than you." "I know she could." I looked at him slowly, letting the silence settle. "Maybe," I said evenly. "But she doesn't want better. She wants me." Ryan blinked, stunned by the certainty in my voice. Lisa's smile widened, surprise flashing across her face. She hadn't expected me to remain steady. Then she spoke, and the shock hit me. "You see," she said lightly, "he stayed calm the entire time, not one reaction. That's why I chose him." Ryan froze mid-sentence, like the air had been knocked from his lungs. Her words weren't meant for him. They were about me. The mockery, the smirks, the insults. It had all been a test, and I had passed without cracking. Lisa reached across the table and took my hand, the warmth of her touch stark against Ryan's stunned silence. "I needed to know if you'd crumble under pressure," she whispered. "But you didn't. You stayed calm, confident, and completely yourself. That's why I married you, not him." I smiled, feeling a quiet sense of pride. It wasn't about proving Ryan wrong. It was about proving that loyalty and composure speak louder than anger ever could. Ryan, pale and shaken, muttered something unintelligible before standing up and leaving, his ego shattered by a truth he couldn't accept. No amount of mockery could shake a man who knew his worth. Lisa watched him go, then turned to me with a playful grin. "I hope you're not mad I set this up." I shook my head. "Not at all. It reminded me why I married you, and why I'll never worry about anyone trying to test me." As we left the bar, I realized how rare it is to have someone who believes in you enough to test you and then be honest about it. The night began with tension and the threat of humiliation, but it ended with renewed trust and a deeper bond. Lisa surprised me with her plan, but more importantly, I proved to her and to myself that calm confidence outlasts intimidation. That night became a story I'll remember forever. It wasn't about revenge or dominance. It was about patience, self-assurance, and the quiet strength of knowing your value. And as we walked home hand in hand, I knew this was one test I would never fail.